Okay, welcome. I'd like to bring the Upper Moreland Township regular meeting to order for December 2nd, 2024. First, we'd have a moment of silent meditation. Thank you. And if you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pat, would you take roll, please?
Ward 1.
Present.
Ward 2.
Present.
Ward 3.
Here.
Ward 4. Ward 5.
Here.
Ward 6.
Here.
Ward 7.
Here.
Commissioner, all Board of Commissioners are present with the exception of Commissioner Mullen. Also here this evening is Township Solicitor Sean Kilkenny and Township Manager Pat Stady.
Thank you. Any presentations or announcements?
There are none.
Okay. I would like to announce that the board met in executive session prior to this meeting for personnel, litigation, and real estate matters. Also, I would like to let everybody know, as president, I make up the committees for one more year. We are making some changes. Everybody will be in the same committee, but the chair people will change. For Parks and Recreation, Commissioner Venuti will be the chairperson. For the Finance, Olszewski, Commissioner Olszewski will be the chairman. And for Community Development, Commissioner Mullen will be the chairman. Just succession planning, get some experience. So, Commissioner Whiting will remain because it's all three commissioners that have been here with that one. So I just want to announce this, so come January, they will be the new chair people of committees. Next, public comments, non-agenda items only.
Good evening, Commissioner Suworth, Amanda, Ward 6-2. I just wanted to say it was a great presentation from the county in the redevelopment, if you will, of the downtown county building. I'll express my disappointment that the court will not be returning there. I understand why, but I wish it were different. But I did have two comments for you. One involves the parking lot across the street. We did talk about that while they were here. And it's to be for employees only, which means Monday through Friday and usual work hours. And they were going to regate it, as I understand the plans, as it has been before. Those of us who have been here long enough have seen that come and go. But it would be for employees, and counting the number of spaces, there are 22 now, and of course they may reconfigure those as they go. However, we do have a mission for a walkable, small business encouraged downtown. And I was going to ask you if you would consider looking back and talking with them. I know they're coming before zoning, to ask if on the weekends the gate can be up, it can be locked position. I've seen a whole bunch of these things in historical areas where on the weekends the businesses donate, if you will, their otherwise specified parking areas to the town as a whole so that people can park there and walk around. That would not be my point. It would be for short-term retail parking, specifically for the businesses within the block, the Aaron 4 block. But it could be otherwise for anyone across the street that has to do something quickly and want to come back. So I would highly, recommend, if that's our mission as a township, we put our mission into the mix and not have that be a closed and abandoned parking lot. I saw it in action this weekend, the very interesting pocket percussion. It was percussion, pocket percussion. I am so sorry, I don't know which direction that goes in. You can tell I don't play the drums. Either way, I was there for a bit of the time. The place was absolutely jammed. It was their grand opening. Their space is huge, and they want to be a player in the community in terms of doing venue work with that back section that used to be the playground for the kids. And so, I see them as a really highly engaged small business owner. And that they want to put the mural on the side. That's how the Historical Commission got involved. So they would be a major user of that parking lot, so people can come in, take a drum kit out. If you've ever moved drum kits, you know that you want, don't want to have to walk a mile with them. So that would be, some of the conversation that we might be able to have going forward. The other thing was, well, I really wish things were different and people were different. My job would be different if they were. The idea that the county presented that nobody's going to go out through that in and out area that basically belongs to Burger King, that's not going to work for us. Nobody's going to go neatly all the way around the corner. I know when you go north, people still will come left onto Davisville, cross the railroad tracks, come up, the sign says, no left-hand turn. And what do? The minute the light changes, they go across 2 lanes of traffic. I see it almost every day. I know Commissioner McFatridge, you dine there in that same area frequently. So you have to see it more than I do. So with that in mind, I know they're going to take the shortest route out, which is going to bring them down to Eastern Road between Weinrichs and the BK. So I would appreciate that while they may have better faith in the general people they serve and maybe the township as a whole, that we relook at that with them so that we don't have the issue of people doing that if we really don't want them to do it for some reason. Because I can't find original plans that talk about the road that we talked about on Eastern Road coming into the new, right across the street, the new apartment development. There is to be still an access road from that part of the world. I assume it's on the original plans that I have a copy of. And so maybe in the meantime, we'll have to do one thing, but I know you don't want to do 2 things if there's going to be one thing that's going to be bigger than the other. So, and my last thing, I'm sorry I was away. I missed the downtown lighting, but could we take the announcement of the downtown lighting sign down so that we can actually see the beautiful tree? Because we just don't need to have it up and, it's beautiful. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comments?
Good evening, Sandra Richmond. I have a question about the executive muse property. I am curious about the approval from the county, the Office of Conservation, and if the approval is on file with the township at this time for the removal of the trees on that property.
Okay, here we only take comments. Pat, could you have, Paul would give you the answer for that. Would you have Paul forward an answer? We don't answer questions at the general meeting,
Okay.
but that'll get
I
forwarded.
don't know the answer.
Okay, all right, thank you. And I will make a comment. I know I'm not alone in the disappointment that the developer has removed all the trees on the property while there is an appeal on file with the courts, and they are doing this at their own risk. And even if they went ahead and removed those trees before the approval was in place from the county, I don't see how that is really in keeping with the spirit of the requirements to not disturb the earth, because using the equipment to, go around and remove everything that's on that property does indeed disturb the earth. So I want to lodge my disappointment that that happened, and it does seem like it's not really in keeping with the requirements.
Okay, and Pat, you'll handle that question? Okay, thank you. Any other public comments?
Okay.
Okay, next, Treasurer's Activity Report.
I make a motion to adopt the treasurer's activity report for December 2024.
Motion to a second?
Second.
Okay, any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved. Approval of the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for the November 12th, 2024 meeting.
A motion to a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any questions from the board on the minutes or changes?
Nope.
Anybody from the public? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved. Committee recommendations. Public Health and Safety Committee.
Yes, good evening. The Public Health and Safety Committee recommends motion to transfer state-related funding to the Upper Moreland, to our Upper Moreland Fire Department.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. This is just a routine thing that the money comes to the board, and then the board has to give it to the volunteer fire company. It's done every year, and that is the procedure that is done. I think it's close to 122,000 or something. Chief wants to.
Yes, Commissioner, thank you.
Clarify.
It's $122,177.41. This is because we have reconstructed a volunteer fire company in the township, and it's money from the state, and it should be a pretty steady amount at $123 annually from the state to the volunteers.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the general public? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
Okay, and our final bit of business is that we ask to cancel the December 16th meeting of the Public Health and Safety Committee for this year.
Okay. Thank you. All right, next we'll go to Finance and Administration Committee.
Okay, the committee recommends the following items related to the 2025 budget. First is motion to approve ordinance number 1758, authorizing the 2020-25 tax levy.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Okay, the amount is 7.309 mils, which is a 3.23% increase.
Anything from the board? I will say, Pat, you did a great job of keeping this percentage down. We gave you direction what to do, and you did it, which we are thankful. And also all of our township directors and everybody to put together their budgets for Pat and for them to work out what's really needed and what's not. So thank you to all the directors and the employees of the township.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll share that with all the department heads. Their hard work as well. Appreciate it.
Any public comment? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
Next, motion to approve Resolution R-2024-26, establishing the rate of 2025 refuse fee.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Okay, what this is, for a trash fee. It is really only about half or maybe even a little less than half of what it really costs us. The rest of the money is in the budget. I know it used to be $400 and something for this, but we've always charged half of it directly on for a direct fee. Any other comments from the public?
So it's $215, no change from last year.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved?
Next, motion to approve ordinance number 1759, adopting the 2025 township budget.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay.
So this is for expenditures for the 2025 year, and include the following detailed budgets: general fund, liquid fuels fund, debt service fund, and capital reserve fund budgets. They have been sent out at the same time as this, or made available at the same time as this in a separate package. We went through all the detail in the budget workshop. Let's say, as we said, it's a 3.23% tax increase. I wanted to note there is one change from the preliminary budget that we went through in the workshop. The health insurance costs are $250,000 more than what was estimated in the preliminary budget, but there's no change to the tax increase that is going to be accounted for in the budget transfer from reserve funds.
Okay, any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
Next, motion to approve Resolution R-2024-27, adopting the 2025 to 2029 capital improvement budget.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Okay, we have a second.
So that the capital improvement budget was also part of what we went through at the budget workshop. Let's see, just one note: the first year of the capital plan shall constitute the capital budget, with the remaining years of the plan being advisory for the purpose of long-range planning.
Okay, any comments from the board? Any comments from the public? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
Next, we have appointments and reappointments. Make a motion to approve the reappointment of Christina Richmond on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council to serve a new 2-year term.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Nothing, just
Okay,
thank you for
Any other
someone that wants
comments
to.
from the public? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Against? Abstain? Approved.
Next, there's a motion from the committee to approve the appointment of Landon Sinespet on the Advisory Planning Agency to fill the Ward 3 vacancy and serve a 2-year term.
A second?
Second.
Okay, we have motion, we have second. Any comments from the board? Any comments from the public? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
Next, motion to approve 3 conditional appointments as police cadets to the following candidates: Michael Reynolds, Thomas Lynch, James Kelly.
Second?
Second.
We have a second. Any comments from the board?
I'll just note, such appointments are conditional upon the successful completion of the medical and psychological examinations. These conditional appointments are also based on the successful completion of the Montgomery County Municipal Police Academy and passing the Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission certification examination.
Okay, any other board members? Anybody from the public? I would just like to say, when we used to get 1,100 people apply for being an officer in the test, we're down to, we're lucky if we get 100, and we're lucky if we get 60 that pass. It's getting very tough to get officers for this, and all 3 of these have family that's already officers, so they should know what they're getting into. I want to thank them for coming out as the top 3 and their points and everything to get the job, and can't wait for them to get through the cadets, because it's going to take us another 7 months, 8 months before we get them on the street. So we are actually short officers on the street because the way how the system works through civil service, we didn't have anybody that is already MOPEC already certified. So they have to go through the academy, which holds us up. It's going to be a little more overtime, a little more work for the officers we have, but we'll have them coming in. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
Next, the committee recommends approval of the following checks. General fund checks 142,795 through 143,022 for a total of $1,085,277.88. Also, escrow fund checks 9840 through 9851 for a total of $5,233.76. And finally, liquid fuel fund checks numbers 3165 through 3168 for a total of $22,452.12.
Okay, second? We have a second. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Opposed? Approved.
Next, the committee recommends a motion to approve Resolution R-2024-28, establishing the rate of contribution to the police pension fund.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Anything from the board?
No change from last year.
Okay, anybody from the public? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
Next, motion to approve Resolution R-2024-29, authorizing the Township Treasurer, Alex Levy, to use Key Bank as a depository for funds received by the Treasurer on behalf of the Township, and TD Bank and Happer Federal Savings for supplemental banking services and other businesses that may arise.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
Next, motion to approve ordinance number 1760, approving the 2025 schedule of the Board of Commissioners meetings.
We have a second.
Second.
Any questions from the board?
I just have one possible change on Monday, in April, Monday, the 15th. I think it's Monday, the 14th. It should be on the Monday. Right, okay.
Okay. Anybody from the board? From the public? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
Next, motion to approve Resolution R-2024-30, authorizing the submission of a DCED Main Street Matters Grant application in the amount of $69,576.50 to fund improvements to the downtown parking lot.
We have a second.
Second.
And a second. Any questions from the board?
Nope.
Any questions from the public? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Against? Abstain? Approved.
Okay, next is a motion to approve the 2025 engagement services and fees of the Township Solicitor, Kilkenny Law LLC.
Okay, second. Anybody?
Second.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
I believe it's a $5 increase, and that's 3%.
Okay. Any questions from the public? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
Next, motion to approve the 2025 professional services fee schedule of the Township Engineer Gilmore and Associates.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
I do have a question on this one. So it says here the increase is 7% from 2024. Do you know offhand if there was an increase last year?
There was not an increase last year, there was an increase the previous year.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
Okay. Any questions from the public? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
And next, under new business, is the December 16th Finance and Administration Committee meeting is canceled.
Okay. Next is Community Development Committee. We have no code enforcement, no land development. There are 3 zoning issues. BH 24-29 for County Line Road. They are seeking a freestanding sign for their property. 24-30, this is for the county building at 102 North York Road. Because of the prior use, everything else, it's grandfathered in, but they still have to get the variances again. If they change things, there's a substantial amount on that. On the public hearing 24-31, there's a house on Byberry Road that is looking for, instead of a 9-foot wall, a 10-foot wall. That is the zoning list.
So I have a question.
Yes.
On one of them, on the county building.
Yes.
I probably know this, but so since it's not coming before our board, does that mean our township engineer, or the landscaping engineer did not review it?
It'll get reviewed, it'll probably come back to us.
Oh, it will?
Anyway.
Okay.
But they'll have to get all their zoning stuff figured out first.
I thought they didn't think it needed to come back to us. Because my
If
only
there's any
question,
little things they change, it'll
okay,
be coming back.
okay, sounds good.
So,
Thank you.
okay. Motion to approve ordinance 1761, amending Part 2 General Legislation to the Upper Moreland Township Code to add a new Chapter 280 entitled Special Events Permit, regulating special events such as parades, assemblies, fairs, concerts upon the township streets or other right-of-ways to the township property. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. This is really just putting everything on paper, all the questions that the police, the township, that Paul, everybody asks to make sure it's a safe event. They will get all this in advance, so they will know what they need to bring to us to have an event. It's just really, it's a big clarification. So, any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? All in favor, say aye.
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 Against, abstain, approved. Next, the board recommends a motion to approve authorizing the advertisement of a notice to bid for the work performed on the Maryland Road culvert. You have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. This is the culvert that's right near the Lexus dealership going underneath the road. We were told by PennDOT that it has to be rebuilt from the inside, basically, and all the money is there. There's a grant that's covering it, so we're just approving it to take it out to bid. Any questions from the board? Any question from the public? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved. We will not have a meeting in December for community development meeting. And Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Recreation Committee recommends the Board of Commissioners take action on the following. Motion to approve the security deposit and fee change of Mason Mill Parks Pavilions rentals.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Okay,
Well, this is discuss this in committee, and this is a general change, I guess, to go with the times.
and it's just bringing us to what other townships are paying. And a security deposit, because we've never taken one. Every other township does. So we're just updating what Katie had brought to us to match all the other townships around. Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Approved.
Finally, the Parks and Recreation Committee will not be meeting in December.
Okay. Any other commissioner comments? Okay, again, I would just like to say I am really pleased between all of the staff, the township, on the budget. I'm pleased with how they have done work in the township for the last year. The unions, we actually were able to get agreements with them for their contracts without having to pay extra fees for either one of us to go to arbitration and everything. I want to thank them for them being realistic and the township, our board being realistic to get that done. I think we're on the right track with the employees to the board. And a real big thank you to Pat. Kind of got thrown into this last minute when we brought him in for the change. You've done an excellent job. I can't imagine this board, anybody has problems with it. We get updates. He has handled this township since he's been in there really, really well and kept us informed, which is the biggest thing that we can ask for. So thank you, Pat. And I'm sure that'll continue. I have no doubt. And you've been here for at least 4 years or so, maybe 28. But and last, our new chief for the police. We haven't gotten to see you much yet because you're that new. But thank you for your updates and welcome. And we expect good things from the police department. Other than that, everybody have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a good New Year. We're adjourned. Thank you.